And now, from beyond our dimension, this is the JeffMara podcast. Here's Jeff.
My guest is Jennifer Anderson, who sees UFOs, elementals, spiritual mist, starlight beings, and more. Jennifer, thank you for joining me and welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Well, it's great to have you. And if you don't mind, Jennifer, how did this all start for you?
It kind of started with Chris Bledsoe. I seen him in August playing on Beyond Skinwalker Ranch, and I was already intrigued and started corresponding with him because I don't know, it was just like how everything played out. It was meant to be, basically, and then I read his book, and then things really started to start happening, and him and I were going back and forth with messages, and then I asked him without telling him at the time. I said, will you please put a prayer in for me? And he's like, absolutely. And I said, I think they'll know what I'm meaning, them up in the sky. I'm like, they'll know. And he did. And so then I just kind of like went through a dark night of the soul, and worked through a lot of stuff, and put it in the past and left it there and started dealing with the present. And then that kind of opened the door, and it opened a door in a big way, big way.
For those of you who don't know, I've had Chris on before. He's not only had a near-death experience, but he has had UFO contact. So you asked him to put a prayer into the ETs for you. And how long after he put that prayer in did you start seeing them?
It was almost instantaneous. And that's where I'm going to talk about Firefly, whom I love very much. I think that he was kind of trying to blend in to look like a satellite or a star, and he was kind of following me around, making sure he doesn't scare me, because that's the one thing that they do not want to do, is they don't want to scare you.
Firefly is a nickname that you gave to an orb or some kind of starlight being or something?
It's a starlight being. They're something different altogether. They're just something different.
So this being started showing up for you, and it even started following you around at night.
Yes.
And do you see that being every single night?
I did, up until I did. And then all of a sudden one day, Firefly brought a friend, like another entity being, and I got pictures of that. And they're not trying to scare me. So if the Divine Mother that Chris encountered knows me, I had anxiety issues back then. She would send the smallest of the small to come and interact with me to get me so I can accept the bigger stuff. Had they brought as big as what Chris sees, I probably would have fell over and been scared. So they sent the smallest of the small, that's why I call them fireflies, to be introducing me to them. And so then a couple more would come, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they brought friends, and you can tell, they have little sparkles that happen around them. And so then that's what started it off. But they would follow me. They would seriously, he would follow me, and I'd be like, come on, Firefly, let's go. And so once I got comfortable with Firefly, Firefly sometimes would be benched by this moon. And I'm like, what are you doing? And why are you like up by this moon? I'm like, and I've said that in some of my videos. I'm like, why are you up there? Why can't you come down? Come down, and he would be flying around. He's trying to get me to look at this this certain moon. It's not the same moon that I'm seeing now come down. It was a total different, it was something different altogether. And at first I'm like, gosh, are we, like Dolores Cannon? I thought we were getting closer to the moon or something. And and because it just kept looking weird. And I'm like looking at it, it was just so bright and luminescent. Like I said, Jeff, it wasn't the same moon that I'm going to be sharing with you in a little bit. Was something different altogether. And I was filming all these flying around, spirit orbs whizzing by. I got videos of all that I'm going to show you. And but still looking at this moon. And finally one day I looked at it. I'm like, you look odd. I'm not scared. What are you? I'm looking right at it. And it wouldn't let me record. That particular moon wouldn't let me record. And I was even trying to be sneaky about it, trying to hide the camera, knowing full well that that just did not look right. And so what had happened one night, I watched it. I watched it detach itself from the sky, and it was looking at me. It was looking at me, and it was coming down, and it was hard right looking, hard left, and to me, I wasn't scared. Like I was not scared of this at all. And I'm like, if you want to come closer, just come closer. Like it was studying me, and I was studying it, and clearly behind it, I could see it had the emblem of the moon, but behind it, it had like these big, like flower, like, I don't know, like I could see clearly that it was a ship. It was a big ship. And prior to that, I was telling Firefly, like, I want to record you guys because that's what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing. That's what they want me to do. But I couldn't even hold my phone because I was having bad neck issues. Like I have a fusion that didn't fuse, the adjacent levels were starting to go wonky. And I wanted to help them, but I couldn't because I was in so much pain, and I was begging Firefly. I'm like, listen, and they're intelligent, and I'll get into how intelligent they are. But anyway, that night after that moon detached, I got really tired, and I went to bed, and I woke up, and you're gonna see that picture of a bruise. It was a yellowing bruise, and it was around my tattoo, and there was a scar there.
When you started seeing Firefly, the Starlight
Yeah.
being, how high in the air would it be? Like how far
Oh, it
away
would
from
come
you?
right up to me.
Like
It would come right up
within like a few feet
within feet.
from your face.
Yes.
Wow. All right, well let's do this. Let's go look at a couple videos of Firefly and then we'll come back, okay?
Okay. That's what fireflies are.
So Firefly is moving around and you're having to follow it with your camera.
Fireflies will go wherever I bring them to. They follow me. But there's so many of them, and they're like, can be so small. Yeah, that's my buddy. I miss him.
This is the first being that showed up, right?
Yes, this is. I've seen flashes and stuff in the trees, but um, this was, I believe, the scout, the one that came and watched over me and then introduced me to Moon. And I haven't really seen him since.
So that looks like two of them.
Oh, yeah, oh gosh, I'm surrounded by them. always. During the night, especially on a clear night, this is like a daily thing.
All right, let's see another one of it.
Okay. Now these little entities, they're small, you know, they're not very big at all. I get some that are a lot bigger, but these starlight beings are, well, they're starlight. They look like stars. There's Firefly. Oh, sorry.
So it's like Firefly comes and brings his friends.
Yes, they came very slow. It's almost like, you know, who they work for, which is, I know for a fact they all work for the lady that Chris saw. She would definitely, in the state of mind that I was in a panic. I was in living in fear. I was living in pain. Not anymore, by the way. But so she would send the smallest to come and talk to me or be with me. They're very intelligent beings. Like, look, I showed Firefly some pictures because Firefly would come right to me. People would write me. They would like, I want to see them too, like Lilac Brandy. Um, and I showed the picture to Firefly, and wouldn't you know it, that quantum entanglement, that like almost a second, she was seeing them, and now she's got videos, a whole bunch of videos.
Do you think that you can show them my picture and so they'll start visiting me and I can get videos of
Yes.
them?
Oh my gosh.
Would would
Oh
you,
my gosh.
would you do that for
Yes.
me, please?
Yes, me and Brandy. We have to. I'm gonna let Brandy in on that. She is my sister here now. She's not, by blood, but we're in this together. Like she's getting some amazing videos now, and I definitely can because there's nothing like you being able to experience this yourself. And I said that to a MUFON investigator. Um, you know what I mean? Because I just wasn't interested in submitting anything.
Now, you also see elementals. What are they and how are they different from the starlight beings like Firefly?
Okay, so elementals can be like they're like different species. They're like different kind of bugs. I don't know what to call them. Like it's hard to put human words into something that is not of this world. But they can be like um lights. They were going around me and my son and flashing my son, giving him this big magic show. And they can be critters, they can be like the spiritual mist, like a smoke that's coming in. They're just like part of the elements. There's just no like word for them. So Chris calls them elementals because I've never seen anything like it. And there's a whole bunch of them, different kinds, um different things. Like it's just really hard to explain that. You know what I mean? Like some of them can be made out of electricity. Um, I've seen like these beings that make a sizzling sound, and they were up in the tree, and it was like a galactic red and a galactic blue, like blinking on and off. And I would go down there, and I'm recording it from different angles, and as I'm recording it, as it's like blinking, it's taking like the power from my phone. So each blink, it's like taking power from my phone, and I'm looking at it, and I cannot put words into some of these things that I'm seeing. It looked, if I was going to try it, it looked like it was um, had little electric bolts coming out of it, and it was sitting on a tree. Um, Again, I that was when I first started seeing stuff. Um, so much different variety of stuff. I don't It's hard to even explain, but I've captured it, lots of it.
Do any of these beings ever come inside of your house?
These spirit orbs, they do. Yes, they do. I capture them in my house. I do there's like these. That's an elemental. They're not um uh how can you can't, it's hard to explain that. These are in flight. So like this is like a orb or a I don't know. These, some of these are in flight.
So those are pictures of elementals in
These
flight.
are pictures of elementals. I got some in movement. They seem to like the security light by my house. Oh, that's the moon. Look at that one.
Mhm.
That one's a good one. That's a good one. Them flying around with that smoke. That's the mist. The smoke, the spiritual mist.
Now
And these
that
are these elementals. They're coming around. They're flying around. Um, I had to reach out to a couple people. I'm like, I'm not understanding quite what I'm seeing here, but and then there's some flying UFO objects that are going to be coming in a frame.
now that looks like mist coming out of the back of a building with a light, and I would
No,
assume.
no, this is what happens. It comes in all around at a specific time at night.
And
And there's right there's a object. No, there it's not. Look at all this, and
yeah,
then look at this. Watch
right,
this thing.
yeah.
Then it turns around and it goes back. I'm telling you, whatever comes into this stuff, it comes into this stuff on the other side too. It's all around me.
Yeah, I see that. It's obvious.
Chris had it on his property too.
I see it and it's obvious. I was just thinking that some people may say, well, it looks like a light.
Yeah,
It looks like a light and there are bugs flying around.
yeah. Bugs don't act like that.
Bugs don't flash red like that one was earlier.
No, them are the unidentified objects. There's a couple of them there. Um, some of them land on my building, but look at them how they fly. I'm just giving an example of what an elemental is. So there's a flying object up there, a UFO. Like they're small in stature, these ones. And then we got whatever that is.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at another one. Do you think that that is a being, a sentient being, or that's a
Yes.
spaceship?
No, that's a sentient being.
You went on vacation to another state,
Yes.
and these beings followed you
Yes, they
to
did.
this place.
Yes, they did.
All right.
I went to South Dakota. I went to Wyoming. Um, no matter where I am, they're there. Uh, and that's just a fact. Like I on a post I was standing in front of like a statue and I'm like, I just was hoping that, they wouldn't be waiting for me at my apartment and thinking that I'm like ignoring them because that would have hurt my heart. But they followed me. It's almost like the same ones too in the same spots. And there's so much more. It gets even weirder. Like the Big Dipper was coming down. Like they were information looking like, um looking like the Big Dipper. The Orion's belt, was doing the same thing. It was actually them. Um, and so a lot of this stuff is also scriptural. Okay. um, everything that we're seeing, everything we're going through, like we are in revelations right now.
All right,
That's where we're at.
let's look at some more videos.
Look at this. Starlight beings are the ones that are flying around up here. Look at all these orbs.
Did you see those orbs flying around with your naked eye?
Yes.
Not only do you see them, but your son has seen them too, right?
Yes.
How does he react to them?
So he was really scared. It was dark and we were trying to find fireworks and so his reaction is like, Mom, they're everywhere. You know, they were flying all around us and flashing in the trees and they were flashing all the way around us. And uh he was no longer afraid um about that. And so no, not after that.
Do you think that these ETs and elements and orbs or starlight beings are all benevolent and kind?
Yes. Oh, I'm telling you right now, without trying to get emotional, that the love that I got from all of them, from the whole experience, isn't anything I've ever felt here on earth. Um, it is like a pure love. So I'm doing this for them. If you would have known me a year ago, I wasn't hardly able to go shopping, or you know what I mean? Like I had so much anxiety about everything, and I'm willing to spend thousands of dollars to go and show Chris, because I can show you and anybody else in real time. I need 10 minutes of sun. That sun responds to me. It reacts to me. And that is something that I can prove in person. So the tickets are already booked. It's the first weekend in October. He's going to be in Wilmington at the Riverfest. And I'm praying for just 10 minutes of sun. I don't know where the moon will be at in her cycle, but Chris has talked about how special that moon is. And so I think that this really meant a lot to him. I took a chance. I sent it to him. Either people will, um, you know, drop away, like, you know, or whatever. I'm I'm just the middleman, man. I'm just the messenger. I'm just the one that they're showing to me, like the beings, the sun, the moon. They're showing me who they are, and I'm just the one that's going to present it any way I can on their behalf.
So are you saying that the sun and the moon are actually sentient beings?
They are. Have you heard that before?
I have not. I've heard of the hollow moon theory, but not beings. And these beings, the sun and the moon, reveal themselves to you by changing size.
Can I show you another video, one of the sun, please?
Sure.
The sun is coming down to it's coming down to me.
That looks like something moving below the sun. Well, it did at
It goes
first.
below the clouds.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Are you sure that's not a separate ship and not the
No,
sun?
that is the sun. I love that sun. Move around because it's trying to find an opening to see me.
All right, well, some people will say that's just the clouds moving by.
It finds a way. Here he comes. Boom. had to keep my eyes closed at this point.
So that was a huge change in size.
Yeah, yeah, I love that son. Kind of like best buddies at this point.
Do you have any pictures or video of something that looks obviously like a spaceship?
No, I caught like this Starlink. Look at that's what people say. It's Starlink. It just appeared and then disappeared.
Hmm, that
They
is
said it was
interesting.
Starlink.
I've never seen Starlink. I mean, I guess they're saying that's a bunch of satellites in a row. In a row.
Yeah, but this just appeared. This thing was massive.
It kind of reminds me of like the Phoenix Lights or something.
Yeah, this thing was massive. Two of them lights would be a jet size. This thing just appeared out of nowhere and then went into disappeared. And I know people said it was Starlink, but I had people privately, there's Firefly. Firefly didn't even flinch.
Would you say that this was like a mile wide or something?
Yes, it was big. Um, and then it just disappeared out of nowhere.
All right, what are we looking at here?
So after I seen that ship detach itself from the sky to come down and observe me, um, I went to sleep that night, and I still remember the dreams, which is strange. I woke up, and right here, if I had a large, very large yellow bruise, and right here is a scar that I never had. And this wasn't like closed all the way. So whatever they did, they helped my neck because I haven't had any pain with it. And they put something in my arm. So there is at this time right now something in my arm here. And I just want to make it clear that I was not abducted. I was not like kidnapped. I wanted to I needed help and I begged them for help because I wanted to help them. And at that point I couldn't even hold my phone. And I was honestly looking at seeing uh, a surgeon to set up a massive neck surgery. So, um, and that was last year. And this happened probably in March. We see it.
Can you feel something inside of your arm if you
I
touch it?
can.
What does it feel
Yes.
like?
It right now, if I'm feeling it, it just feels like something hard. That isn't, supposed to be there. And I had mixed feelings about it at first because I'm like, I asked for it. But yet, how do they do that? And how do they make an incision and have it be healed overnight when our technology we're not there yet. So, but again, I begged them to help me, and so they didn't just take me.
So this all happened at night while you were asleep.
Yeah, it was after I saw that ship detach itself from the sky and come and observe me. And when I didn't show any fear, and I just said, you can come closer. I think they knew that, we can work with her. We can, it's the same. Even if they don't look like the same entities that Chris is seeing, they are all within that same branch, within that same family. So they're the ones that are foreseeing our earth. It's much more than just a saucer, and some aliens coming out. It's much more than that.
How has your life changed since you started seeing these beings?
I could tell you right now that there's a love that is we will never find it here. Okay. I have changed, I have grown, I no longer live in fear. Um, and I just have something to look forward to every day. I get up and I spend time with, the sun. And then at night, it's the beings, and then when the moon comes, I spend time with her. I don't watch Netflix anymore. I'm no longer of this world right now. I have changed my life completely and have devoted my time to want to be with them. I don't want to be without them ever, ever.
I've had a couple of guests that see things similar to you. And when they see them, they appear to naturally tell them, I love you, or, and stuff like that.
I do, and I sing to them.
When you see them, do you naturally feel compelled to tell them that you love them?
Yes, I sing "I Love You" song to them. I sing, you know, and sometimes them little starlight beings during the day, I can see them, they'll be flashing, let me know they're there. Um, Streaking in the clouds. They'll put on quite a show for me, but it gets dark so late. I was really spoiled when it was dark early, but um, I know that people are looking for that aha moment, and I know that there's the right time for everything. And right now, it's the right time. Like, I just don't want anybody talking bad about the moon or the sun. I really care about them. Solar flare, or you know, when it comes to alien bases on the moon. And again, I spent a lot of money to get a plane ticket to see Chris because these are things that I need to show him. It's like a mission I'm supposed to be doing. Um, that's how I feel in my heart. That's what I'm supposed to be doing.
Do they ever communicate with you in your dreams?
Yeah. Yeah, I've had some weird dreams prior to um prior to having all this happen. Um I had a dream that that they were putting some kind of Wi-Fi or disruption or something in there. And then I had a dream that I was, yeah, giving birth to a baby. I mean, I was just having really, really weird dreams. And you know, and I kept telling Chris, I'm like, I'm seeing this. He's like, well, you're my friend. And I'm like, okay. So, um, I just trusted him. I trusted his experience. And so I was not scared at all of anything that I've been seeing. And it has not stopped. And it's daily. And they're being more assertive because something's happening. Um, and I know that it's going to be dicey for a little while, and then she's going to come, and then she'll set the record straight. And we're going to be going into this age of Aquarius, and I am Aquarius, so maybe it's me. I'm just kidding. No, it's not. I'm just saying it's.
So you've talked to Chris about these beings. What does he think?
At first, I had questions because him and I were corresponding back and forth. He's just a down to earth, great person. He's just a wonderful person. He's got the biggest heart and took the biggest risk to help humanity. And I never questioned him on his videos. All I wanted to do is say, how can I help? That's what I said to Chris. How can I help you and them? And he's like, by spreading the word. And I went in with the mentality of love, and I went in with wanting to help. So I had the perfect mindset of, um, I believe, of encountering them. And so by showing the picture, to the ones, that means you have to go outside and you have to look up. And technically, I think they have rules that they have to abide by. So they're not going to come if it's cloudy. Stars can't blend in when it's cloudy. Although lately, some of these clouds I don't think are natural, so they have been kind of coming through. The spirit orbs are all the time. Like, I feel them all the time. Um, but yeah, you'll have to make sure you get out there and look up.
Well, after watching this podcast, people may want to reach out to you and talk to you. Are you open to that?
Yeah, yes, actually, that's why I'm here to do some explaining.
What's the best way to contact you?
Well, I'm only on Instagram. I keep everything there. It's the @ symbol JENNY 281973.
Well, before we finish up, can you leave us with one last positive message?
Love. Love is the answer, and that's what's going to save humanity, and and everything that's coming in to us is going to help, accept the help that they're willing to give us.
Jennifer, thank you for your message, and thank you for being my guest.
Oh, it's an honor. I love being on this side of the seat.
Well, it was an honor having you. Thanks for watching the JeffMara podcast. I really appreciate you. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. And if you do, there are loyalty badges and other perks depending on your level of membership. All you need to do is click the join button underneath the video to find out more. Thank you for your support.